how did the move from East Coast to West Coast happen? Because that's a pretty big move. That's two opposite sides of the country.
Yeah, I know.
So I'll tell you, because that move happened because of my meal prep company that I started. So I ended up in 2015. Actually, the kid, he's my barber. He's still my barber when I go to New York. He comes to my house. Shout out to Tyler. What up, Tyler?
There you go. Shout out Tyler.
And so Tyler's a great cook, man. Tyler can cook. He enjoys it. And so he was using Instagram to like advertise his meals. And I guess people started saying, hey, I want you to cook for me. So he actually started putting food in containers and, you know, selling his food that he was making at home just for fun and to make a little bit of money. One of my friends actually commented on me on that picture, like, yo, you should do this. And I was like how? Like, what is that? You know, like, how are you going to make that into a profitable business? But, you know, I said, fuck it. And I tried to figure it out. And I started doing it at my mom's house, you know, cooking meals. Sunday morning, I'd be up at like 9 a.m. The whole house is sleeping because they have a regular work schedule. And I'm I'm banging out, like, you know, at first it's small, but it got up to, at one point, it's probably, you know, doing 200 or 300 meals out of my mom's house. And I had a couple of my boys would come over and they'd help me prep. They'd help me deliver, pack meals. It was a whole operation. It was really crazy. But my family was cool with it. And, yeah, it's kind of just a random experiment, you know, that I ended up running away with. And then from that, one of my friends, he's from New York. He joined the military. After the military, he moved to Las Vegas. And he would always comment to me and he would call me and he'd say, man, if you came to Vegas, this business would be great out here. You know, it's 24/7, 365. It's nice weather. People are in the gym caring about their fitness. We're in New York, you know, like the colder months, we wear our hoodies, we wear our sweaters. So we pack on a couple of pounds, you know.
We don't need that.
Yeah. Out here, everybody's like, I want to be shredded 24/7.
That's true.
It's very much an important thing in Las Vegas, you know, physique and, you know. So I considered it, but it was kind of just like one of those things that was like, yeah, sure. Like, yeah, I'll come out to Vegas for my business. Like, you know, that sounds ridiculous, but he was so persistent, man. He kept telling me. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So I ended up becoming a head chef in 27 in Hoboken. I was there for like about half a year. And then they wanted to redo. So I already redid the whole restaurant, like food style. Like they were doing like burgers and fries and just kind of basic stuff. And I changed it up to doing like, you know, more steaks and like more visually stunning stuff. Like we were actually one of the first people to try to do those crazy milkshakes. You know,
wow.
like where you put
Black
like,
Tap?
Yeah. So I started making some of those, but the restaurant business is so hard because you're actually making your money usually off of alcohol sales. Yeah. And they used to be a college bar and they used to make a shit ton of money selling alcohol. That's where their money was made. So while we had food critics come in and they loved the food, you know, they were like, you know, it was a big leap and change. The owner wasn't happy because of the money. You know what I'm saying? He still wasn't making that liquor money. So they decided to shut the whole thing down, renovate the restaurant, and redo it to go back to their original college style bar that was also serving food. So I said, you know, okay, well, let's see how this goes. I helped with the renovations. It took a couple of months. I actually moved out to New Jersey from Staten Island because I was very dedicated to being a part of that. And then they did something that was kind of weird to me. They brought back their old chef that apparently I didn't even know who this guy was. I didn't know anything about him. He was in rehab. There's a lot of, it's very common for people in the back of the house to end up in rehab. You know,
the food was that good.
Yeah, the food was that good, man. And so were the drinks, apparently. I love that. He was actually a really cool guy. We ended up, you know, getting along, but I didn't know they were bringing back the old chef. Yeah. So I went from being head chef, now I'm the sous chef.
They demoted you?
They never said that. They actually said, they were like, no, you guys are going to coexist together. You guys are going to both work together. But you've heard the expression, too many cooks in the kitchen. Yeah. So there was literally too many cooks in the kitchen. And, you know, he went back to doing like these crazy burgers and like these, you know, fancy fries and all this type of stuff, which is cool, but it wasn't my style. So I ended up saying, this isn't for me. I left and I ended up working at a Rita and Joe's in Jersey City, which is like one of the most historical Italian food restaurants back in New York City. It's actually in Jersey City.
Damn, we got some dope restaurant gigs. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I've bounced around a lot, man. And then at Rita and Joe's, I was working on this head chef, and he was a pretty cool guy. But something happened one day, and meanwhile, the whole time while I'm doing this kid Adam, shout out to Adam, he's always hitting me up like, bro, like just come out to Vegas and let's do this. Like, let's do this. And I'm like, you're crazy, man. Like, nah, like you're bugging. So I'm working at Rita and Joe's now, and I'm the sous chef there. And one night it gets slammed. It's really busy, and this chef couldn't handle like rushes. He was very bad at handling tense situations. So we're getting slammed, and
Oh shit.
so we used to serve garlic bread, right?
Yeah.
Because they come in this Italian restaurant, we drop the bread, people get ready to order and stuff. That's the server's job, is to pick up the bread and drop it on the table. So they're so busy, I guess the server had to ask somebody, hey, can you give me the bread? And I guess nobody did it for him, so he decided, and he made this mistake. He shouldn't have done this. He came behind the kitchen, the setup, and he went to go in the oven to take the bread out himself. Well, the chef saw that. The chef slammed the oven and grabbed the kid like by his throat. I think he grabbed him by his shirt, but he grabbed the kid like this. He was like talking crazy, and I was just like, and I don't like bullies, man. Like I'm not with that shit. So I saw that, and he was a smaller guy, he was a nice guy too. And I didn't say anything, I didn't say, I wish I would have now, but I was just like, what the fuck, like, kind of stunned me, I was like, what the fuck, like, but that's part of the culture sometimes. But after that happened, I looked at him differently. I looked at the whole thing, working in a restaurant, a lot differently. So I called my boy, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, man, I'm coming out to Vegas. And he bought me a plane ticket for me and my dog. I got a 115-pound pit bull.
Nice.
And if you guys know anything about flying pit bulls, you can't fly them like a regular crate. You have to get a specialized crate.
Really?
Yeah, it's called AFA something, like certified. It's a metal crate because they're so strong that they can chew through plastic crates.
Oh wow!
So I had to go to.
And you have to buy that at the airport, or you buy that?
No, you have to buy it yourself, and they cost about $1,000 to buy them brand new.
What?
Did you have to sell it after?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did end up selling it when I got to Vegas. I ended up paying the same amount in shipping that I got to sell it for, so I didn't make it. I just lost money.
Wow.
Yeah. But so I flew out here. My dog flew underneath on the plane.
That's tight.
Yeah, we got here, and the dog was in the storage area. We got to pick him up at the packaging pickup, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Hawaiian guys, and they let the dog out the cage. My fucking dog's just running around the whole store.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is already off to a weird start. And
And you said that was around 2015?
That was no. So that was the end of 2016. That was I think that was November of 2016 is when I came out.
So your Fit Fuel meal prep company, you started out in the East Coast.
No, so my old company that I came out here with was called Progress Prep, that I created. That I ended up coming out here with, partnered with two guys. They were great guys. I think they had good intentions, but we just saw very different the idea of business. One of them said to me, and I'll never forget this, and I think you guys, this will speak to you too, and any entrepreneurs out there. So we're having an argument because he wants to hire a bunch of employees to do jobs that we can do ourselves, and we're not at that place where we need to be wasting money when we can do the work ourselves.
Right.
And he says to me, he's like, this is how you build a business. You do the work for a couple of months, then you hire people, you stand back, and you just make the money. And I was like, well, I'm not a fucking business guru, but I for sure know that's not how you start a successful business. Your hands always stay dirty. You're always involved. It's not that simple. If it was that simple, everybody would do it. So that was a red flag, and we had some problems. So what actually happened was, so when I signed it, I had 100% of the business, but I gave them equal partnership because they said that they brought so much to the table from sales, from tech and marketing and this and that. I said, fuck it. Okay. I trusted these guys. They didn't exactly live up to their part of the end of the deal. I felt like I was being overworked, undercompensated. Like it was really hard for me to deal with this stuff. So we had a bunch of problems. They actually bought me out for a few $1,000s. I think it was like $8,000, something like that. And to be honest, man, they kind of kicked me out. They're kind of like, here's your money, we're done. Like that's it. And and the business was paying for the house that I was living in. So I had nowhere to go. And it was bad. It was bad. We ended up coming to a terms of an agreement that they would own the business and I'd be an operating partner in New York. So I drove back to New York. I did a cross-country road trip, and that was cool. That was a good experience. We got to see a bunch of stuff.
With your dog?
With my dog and one of my friends. Yeah, we got pulled over in Chicago by police, and they made us get out the car, and they like ran. They because we rented the car from California. It was a minivan. And so they see a minivan with this big pit bull and a couple of young people driving around, and in Chicago, they're like, these guys are moving. They're moving drugs or something,
Yeah.
So they pulled us out, and they had the dogs come. It took about half an hour. Finally, they apologized, let us go. 2 minutes later, we get whoop whoop. Somebody's pulling us over again. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like a scene out of Super Troopers, man.
Yeah.
I have the video on my Instagram. The guy came up to me and he's like, I'm sorry, I forgot your IDs. And he gave me the IDs back and it was like, Jesus Christ.
Whoa,
Like,
what the fuck?
yeah. And then we went and had some bomb-ass Chicago pizza and beer. And I'm from New York and we do pizza right, but New Yorkers, we got to stop hating on Chicago pizza because that shit is good.
What's the
Yeah.
difference
All right,
in
that shit is
pizza? Isn't there like a different way?
Yeah,
like
they do.
deep dish?
They do like a deep dish.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's kind of like a casserole. Like it's kind of like baked in a pan. There's a lot of sauce, a lot of cheese.
And what's
but
New York pizza like?
New York pizza is just going to be hand rolled dough that it's you bake it on a stone or on over wood, however you do it, but it's a flat pizza. Yeah.
No, I don't want to derail you too much, but
Yeah.
what's the best pizza place in Vegas that you found so far
Okay.
that has the best flavor?
I gotta tell you,
Let's
man,
go.
the best pizza place in Las Vegas is Joey's New York Pizza. There's 2 locations. There's one in Summerlin and there's one in Henderson. It's a guy from New York. He knows how to make it right. And honestly, bro, like when I had it the first time, it felt like I was back home. Like it felt like I was eating something from back home.
Joey's.
And Joey's New York Pizza.
Damn.
That's where we're going.
We're
tonight.
going tonight.
Listen. I'll call up Joey because I'm cool with him. I see him at Restaurant Depot where we do our shopping. And get the white pie.
Ooh.
Get the garlic knots. Yeah, it's phenomenal, dude. It's so
other
good.
question: if we go out to New York, where's a good place to?
Well, you got to come to my
place.
hometown, Staten Island,
Staten
and
Island.
you got to go to Denitos.
Denitos.
It's like
just
Sounds like
tight.
a good place. Yeah.
you guys ever see Goodfellas?
I haven't. But
Whoa,
I know.
whoa,
It's on
whoa.
Netflix. It's on my queue, bro.
You've
it's on
never
my
seen
queue. I know.
Goodfellas?
My brother saw it. He said it's really good.
Everybody's seen
yeah,
it. And everybody said that. Anyways, and it's kind of so you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
So the bar, it's like it's that old like New York theme, like with the wooden bars and the wooden tables and everything's very old. And it's a simple thing, cash only. You can't pay with cards.
Wow.
For whatever reason.
So it's real old school. I feel like that place would just have like a bunch of Joey Diaz's. You know Joey Diaz?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
just
yeah,
sitting at
yeah.
a table with like 10 girls around him.
I actually
And
lived
he's talking like this, and he's
I lived in Union City on Bergen Line Street where Joey Diaz is from.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, man. There's guys like that everywhere.
I feel like if you grow up on the East Coast, period, you're gonna have some good stories to tell.
Yeah, like no matter what, like I'm hearing all these stories. I'm like, damn.
I'm like, damn, dude,
I don't
you
have
sound
none
like
of that.
yeah.
Like I was just like, oh yeah.
I think it's because you're piled. We're so piled on top of each other that you're forced to interact.
Yeah.
And the more interactions you have, the crazier experiences you end up having.
That's a good way to
It's like
put it.
it's like rolling the dice. Like if
Right.
you have more dice, you're gonna have more. More things.
Ah,
gonna happen,
that's true. That's crazy.
But
So you were driving back to New York.
yeah,
with
so
your
I
dog?
got back to New York and picked up my business, started again from scratch. And it's crazy, man. I don't even want to tell this story, but I partnered with one of my friends, and then he ended up going astray in his life. So once again, I had a business partner that I intended on doing 50-50, and didn't work out. So once again, I was kind of, I don't know if I was dealt a shit hand or if sometimes I was doing things that were leaving me a shit hand.
Yeah.
But I once again, I was left with some bullshit to deal with.
Yeah.
Ended up, running the business again, and
this was another meal prep company, right?
this is still Progress Prep. This is still the
okay.
one because they owned it now.
Oh,
But
right, now you were allowed-
I signed a contract that I
Right.
can work as an affiliate or whatever it's called.
Right.
So, but I still had to answer them, and I was like, that's kind of annoying. And back in Vegas, they were trying to run the company without me. And I wasn't here, so I can't tell you, but I do know they had to refund a bunch of orders, a lot of ratings, like a lot of bad shit happened when I left because they didn't really know, they weren't involved enough to really get how to run the business. I had a sous chef when I was here, and she took over, and she was pretty good, but there's a lot of things that go into meal prep because it's such a new, uncommon business,
Right.
that if you don't know how to do it, it's not like it's you can't just follow a blueprint. There's no blueprint made for that yet. So they struggled with that, and I went back to New York, and I was doing all right. Business was business. I was doing okay. But in the contract, they wanted me to pay a certain amount of money each month. It was like a ridiculous number, like $500 a month to utilize their website. And honestly, the website wasn't even bringing me that much money. I was dealing with people, my old people from my neighborhood, and from New York that I knew. So I was
Right.
networking myself. I really wasn't using the website. So sometimes I either wasn't able to make the payments or I had a problem paying it. And they just said, okay, well, next thing I know, I'm going to log into my website to see what's going on, and I can't. I'm going to log into my Instagram. I'm locked out on my Instagram. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Like this is weird. Like all of a sudden, I can't utilize my tools. And they're like, we're done, man. Like, we told you we wanted the money. You didn't do it, blah, blah. They had already shut down their business in Vegas. So the only person that's using this stuff is me.
Whoa.
They had nothing to lose by just letting me do my thing. We could have agreed on a different amount of money. We could have figured it out, but I felt like maybe some spite was there. And they shut me down, man. Like I lost my business literally in an hour. I lost my business, and I was desperate. I was like, bro, like come on, let's work this out. And they were just done. So I'm not the kind of guy that when you say you're done, I'm gonna say, okay, I give up. So I said, fuck this. I started a brand new Instagram, started a website on Squarespace that I'm actually still using. I did everything myself, man. I built my website myself. I did everything myself with this company. And
but that's when you decided to start Fit Fuel Meal Prep, right?
FF Prep.
FF Prep.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's great. It's crazy. Like it's always at 80%. Like when you're almost there, you can either quit, or just be like, fuck it, let's keep moving forward.
Yeah, man.
And it's always right there, and then it's usually a sign like, hey.
I love when I talk to entrepreneurs and they tell me that that there's an issue that they're dealing with. Like, oh man, I got this problem. Like, something's going on. Like something they have to deal with. I kind of smile a little bit because I'm like, this is good.
Right.
Like what doesn't break you is going to make you.
Right.
You know what I mean? The good times, they're not what makes you. It's the hard times, how you deal with it, what you learn from it.
100%.
So when people tell me there's an issue, I kind of get a little excited for them. Like this, it sucks for you right now, but in a little while, this is going to be really beneficial.
If you get over that hurdle.
Yeah. And I usually believe 99% of people, if they believe they will and they try to, they get over it, So I started this new company.
That's super exciting though too. At the same time, like I know you were talking about like you have two options. You could either start new or you can give up.
And
But from an entrepreneur's point of view, you should be excited. Like, oh, now I get to do something on my own and kind of like do it exactly how I want to do it.
It was a roller coaster of emotions because at first I was heartbroken. I was scared. I couldn't earn money.
Yeah,
like
there's always that fear.
I was fucked. I was fucked, man. And I thought, like, I'm literally sitting there, like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to find a way, and I'm going to make it happen. I'm not going to let anybody dictate how I'm going to operate, how I'm going to live my life. So that's what I did, man. And it was funny because, like, the next week, I'm back up with a new thing, but I still have my base, my roots. They're like, yeah, you got a new company, same food, same cook, same business, same service. Let's do it. So I was literally right back in business, and I kind of have a hard head. So when you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to say, oh yeah, well watch me. I've been like that since I was a kid, man.
That's good.
It's super good.
It was bad when I was in school because teachers, it's funny in school, like when you're young and you realize like, I think I know more than this teacher does about something. Yeah. You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to question them. You're not allowed to challenge them. It's authority. You obey them. And I would always call them when they're bullshit, like, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you saying? Like, and so I got into a lot of trouble. I got suspended a couple of times, did some detention and stuff. But it helped me because then when I had my own business, it was like, it's all on me, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I don't answer anybody. I have to make the hard decisions, but at the end of the day, I have to do the hard work too.
Right.
So it was a journey, and it worked out pretty good. Should I tell you guys how I ended up back in Vegas?
Yeah, you got to. I mean, at this point, you're back in. You're back
I'm interested all the way through.
Yeah, you're. I feel like this is like you ever seen the movie Joe Dirt?
Yeah.
He just kind of sits down. And starts telling a story, bro. That's where we're at right now. Like you're doing such a good job.
Talking too much, bro. I'm really sorry.
You have a really interesting story, and I'm genuinely interested. Like, how did you get back?
Yeah. So when I was out here my first time, I met this girl. Right, her name's April. And I remember the first time I saw her, I was like, this girl is fucking beautiful. Like I get goosebumps thinking about it because she's so beautiful and she's such a beautiful person inside and out. So we dated the first time I was living out in Vegas. But when I lived out here the first time, I didn't have a license because I had a DWI back in New York. So I came out here with no license. I had my business partnership that I wasn't we had to spend so much money between the three of us and the business. Like I really didn't have any money. So I started, I met her. I crept in the DMs, as you do, and
you gotta show me how to do that, man.
Yeah,
every time I try to do that, I feel like a creeper. Like,
well, actually, so I followed her on my business page because she's into fitness. She was like, I was working out, and the way I didn't just holler like, hey, what's up, girl? You look good. Like, let me talk to you.
Hey, mom.
I was like, hey, are you interested in a meal prep service? Like I gamed it, man. I gamed the whole system.
That's how you do it.
So we ended up talking, then I followed my personal, we're talking through there, and a couple of weeks we decided to meet up, and I really do think it was love at first sight, man. I remember I saw her and I was just like, I'll give this girl anything. Whatever this girl wants, I'll give it to her. And so, we dated for a little bit, but at the time I didn't really have much to offer her. At least that's how I felt, like I didn't have a license. My business was chaotic. I was in a weird place, I was in a weird place, and I think I didn't have the confidence, or I just didn't feel like I gave her what she wanted, what she deserved. And we decided to part ways, you know, very, very cool. Like we weren't, you know, there's no fighting or anything. It was just like, she kind of said like, you know, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship right now. And I was like, you know, I don't think I'm really ready to offer anybody anything right now. So we went our own ways, but we still stayed in touch with each other. And so when I was living in New York, my friends Joe and Danny, they decided that they want to go to Vegas for a trip. And I'm like, you know what, man, I kind of miss Vegas. Fuck it, I want to go to Vegas. So we stay at the MGM a weekend. It was the weekend of August, like right around my birthday. And we're fucking raging, bro. Because this is my first time in Vegas as an adult that I'm not here working. I'm here to be a partier. And you guys, how long have you guys been in Vegas?
I've been in Vegas my whole life.
Your whole life?
Whole life.
Yeah.
So we don't really see that perspective of like the crazy party people who come here to like, you know, just kind of run amok and abuse the city.
Yeah.
So, but I got to do that, and I was like, I'm fucking doing this, like, because the whole 6 months I was here before, I was like, I want to party, like I want to do this shit, but I can't. So I came and, you know, we went hard, day clubs, nightclubs, going crazy. The last night, I was so hungover, man. I was dying. I was really banged up. We had a flight the next morning at like 9 a.m. And my boy Joe is such a savage, bro. He's a fucking beast, and so is Hef. And Hef is asleep. I'm like in bed dying, and Joe's like, bro, we're going out tonight. Let's go. And I'm like, dude, I don't think I'm gonna make it. He's like, bro, we're going out tonight. Then April hits me up. Now April's supposed to be in Hawaii. She's supposed to be in Hawaii with her cousins, but her cousin got sick or something. Like they couldn't make the trip, so she had to cancel that trip. She ended up being in town, and she's like, hey, let's hang out. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I got a bottle of tequila, got in the shower, chugged some tequila, shook that shit off, went out. Spent the whole night with her at Dre's nightclub. She did something really cool that I'll never forget. She took me out to, I think it was Lake Mead or something, to watch the sunrise. And it was something I really needed, like, because at the time things with the business had fallen through already, you know, like things were already over.
Yeah.
Or at least they were on the way. Me and one of the guys were having real big problems. Like when I came out of here, he didn't want to see me, didn't want to talk to me. I was like, all right.
You were out of here on a vacation, essentially.
On a vacation in August. Right. And I guess maybe she saw like I was kind of down about things. I don't know. But she took me out to Lake Mead to watch the sunrise. And it really felt like one of those like poetic type things where it's like a new beginning, you know, like new life.
Yeah. And
I remember like, so we're driving back to the hotel because I got to catch that flight in like 2 hours. When I got back to the room, the sun was up. The guys were already getting ready to leave. We were all fucked up. But I literally contemplated not getting on that plane. I was like, maybe I can just stay here and make this work somehow. You know, maybe I'll reach back out to my business partners and be like, hey, let's you know, whatever. Because I wanted to be with this girl. Mm-hmm. I had crazy feelings about her. But anyways, I got back on the plane. Worst plane ride fucking ever, dude.
That just sounds terrible.
Bro, the plane ride coming to Vegas is way different than the plane ride going back.
Oh yeah, because you're looking forward to going to Vegas.
Yeah. Can I tell you guys about the plane ride coming to Vegas?
Did you get kicked off?
No. Yeah. You guys are like, this guy has too many fucking stories.
No, I like
it. So when we took the plane ride here, we took the morning flight. We got there like 5 a.m. I forgot we were flying. I think we were flying Continental or United. But we got the last seat in the back, the very last seat in the back. And so
I just recently got the last seat in the back on the flight from Florida.
Yeah, it's cool. It's as long as the bathroom's not right by you, because that sometimes could be unfortunate.
I had the window seat, so I was good.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we were flying out there, and we had the whole back row, and it was me and my boy Hef had the whole back row over here, and Joe and some lady that was just coincidentally there had the other back row. So we started getting drinks at like 6 a.m. And they're like, so you guys are going to Vegas? You guys are going to party? We're like, yeah. Dude, they just keep coming back with Tito's. We're doing a Bloody Marys, Tito's, and like Bloody Mary mix. Man, we must have done like fucking. I think we counted the bottles. We had like 13, and we might have had between three of us. We might have had more. But
wow.
Yeah, and then they didn't. This is the crazy thing. They didn't charge us anything.
What?
They didn't charge us anything. It was a male flight attendant, and male flight attendants sometimes they're into other males. So
nice.
Yeah. At first, he comes up to me. He's like talking to me. He's like, "You look like an MMA fighter. Like blah blah. Like, do you like this stuff?" I'm actually he didn't. That was wrong of me because that is stereotypical. He didn't seem gay. I apologize for that. He didn't talk with that whole stereotypical accent.
Yeah.
He actually talked normally, and he's asking me questions like about MMA, this and that, and then he goes into he's like, well, what did we said we're gonna do something, and there was like a double entendre to it, and then he's like, well, I like to do that with guys too, and we were like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of flattering when the guy hits on you,
Yeah,
bro.
it was. I'm not
Date
threatening.
rape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get you drunk, bro.
Watch out.
You had to crack those bottles, man. But so he didn't charge us for any of the drinks.
That's
and when we
tight,
landed,
though.
man, we had the whole back of the plane. Like we weren't obliterated, but we were tipsy and we were joking around everybody. It was something out of a movie, man. Just like
It was like Las Vegas of airplanes, right?
yeah, bro.
Yeah,
it was
no.
awesome. It was fucking awesome. But then the flight back, I remember like being like, I might die on this plane. Like this might be it. Because I was so hungover, dude. Like just felt like such shit. But so I met April out there again, and from that point on, I kind of felt like I wanted to either come back and be with her or figure it out.
You felt like there was something to come back to in Vegas.
Yeah. It's just a really strong connection. Like, it was crazy.
I'm really hoping things work out with April at this point, bro.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
What's going on?
I mean, I don't know. But so she's never been to New York, and I told her all the time, I was like, I'm going to take you to New York one day. I got to show you New York. And so when I started my new company, I figured, fuck it. Like, it might have been in between me working, but I flew her out here in November around Thanksgiving. And she came out here, and I showed her New York. She booked a one-way ticket here. I booked her a one-way ticket here because I paid for it. I told her I was.
When you say here, you mean New York, right?
To New York, yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, yeah. Because I told her I was gonna fly to New York, so I booked her the one-way ticket, and we didn't book her one back though. And I don't know, maybe I did that on purpose. Who knows? She ends up staying for 2 weeks, man. We're like living together. She's staying at my place for 2 weeks. She meets all my family, all my friends. They all love her. And by the time she leaves, we're like, we got to figure this shit out. Like we got like we're supposed to be together. So she ends up flying back and forth a bunch of times from Vegas to New York. I flew out to Vegas for Valentine's Day to spend with her. And we just fell really, really deeply in love. Like it was a crazy connection. One time she flew back, and I was working, so I was doing meal prep, but I was also working part-time at a kitchen in Staten Island. And I'm back there, I'm doing my thing, I'm cooking, I'm grilling. It's like, and this was a brunch spot, so it's slammed from like 10 to like 2. It's crazy. I think it was a Saturday or Sunday. And I'm back there and I'm cooking and I'm doing my thing. And all of a sudden I look over and everybody in the kitchen freezes, dude. Everything stops. Like 6 people working station just stop and look. And it's my girl. She flew in to surprise me. She's like, baby, I'm here. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, it was the last thing I expected at that moment.
Yeah.
And she's always done cool shit like that. Like she's cool like that. Like she does things to show me how much she cares, as I do for her. And I think that's really important in relationships. I think you have to make extra efforts. I don't think people are supposed to ask you for things. And if people are giving you the reminders that they care and love about you, you're never going to ask them for anything because you already know it, Right. But then when you have to ask them for it, that creates a kind of weird relationship. You know what I mean? Like where like they're not doing that the genuine of their heart. They're doing it because you're asking.
Right. And they should want to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it could be the littlest, dumbest thing, or it could be something as crazy as flying to New York and, surprising people. So she was great. And, then I flew back to Vegas for February. And when I was here for a week, I was just like, man, fuck this. I'm coming back here. Like, I'm moving back here. Like, it's something about this town that I really like.
I hope you're racking up those miles at this point, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, I'm retarded, man. I fly Spirit, so it's not even worth shit.
Goddamn Spirit. Giving us
I've only ever flown Southwest. Oh, no, I flew American Airlines.
Yeah, Spirit's terrible. Holy fuck.
But they got the big front seat, man. You spend like $60. It's like ghetto first class. You get the first
seat. Is that the handicap seat? That's what I thought
when I'm in it, it pretty much is. But no, it's like a big first class seat, but there's no divider. You just get like the first drinks, first on and off the plane.
Oh, got it.
It's cool though. But Spirit sucks.
Now I know.
So I decided with her, I'm gonna move back. We're gonna start looking for places. Well, she was here, so she had to look for places. She had to handle a lot of shit to make this come together. And so we set the date. It was the end of April. I flew her back. We said we're gonna drive out there, because it actually would be cheaper to drive than to lose all my shit. Flying my dog cost about $1,000 for the ticket and the box and everything.
Yeah, I can't do that again.
No, I'm not doing that again. So we say, fuck it, we're gonna do a nice little road trip, from New York to Las Vegas. But we actually ended up changing it around, and we drove down to Louisiana because I'd never been to New Orleans. I lived in Florida for like a year, but I'd never been to New Orleans. So I was like, I want to go to New Orleans. So we fucking drove down to New York in my 2003 Chevy Silverado. This truck had over 200,000 miles on it. It's a northeast coast truck. So we get a lot of snow. The whole bottom of it was rusted. I took it to my mechanic before we left, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna drive this thing out to Las Vegas. And he's like, well, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna try to do that, but that's not what's gonna happen. I'm like I said before, fucking watch me. So we took we had like extra 1,000 miles by going down to Louisiana, just made the trip way longer. But it was dope, man. Went to New Orleans, had those hand grenade drinks.
You go like Bourbon Street or whatever?
Yeah, went to Bourbon Street, did the hand grenades, ate some banging ass Cajun food, like some alligators, some shrimp. It was really good. And we're like, all right, so let's keep going. So we started driving again. Got across Texas. Got
boring ass drive to Texas.
My god, dude, it's
the longest drive.
It's a country.
World,
Texas is a goddamn country.
And how wide it is. And if you're driving through the north part of Texas, it is so fucking boring. It's literally desert on desert and cows.
We drove through Dallas and I think we might have drove through Houston, but in between, that's only like 20 minutes, half an hour. The rest of it's fucking it's fields,
So bad.
Yeah. So we ended up getting all the way to Arizona, Kingman, Arizona. You guys know where that is?
Yeah.
It's about 100 miles from here, like an hour.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah, it's not too far. And my truck's making it, man. We're getting there, and all of a sudden I hear. I'm like, fuck, like what? Like what's going on? Like I don't know what it is. But something, the whole 4-wheel drive thing is rattling crazy. I'm literally holding it like I don't know what the fuck's going on, but this is gonna keep my truck together because I don't really know shit about cars. Like I don't know anything about mechanics really. But so we pull over and there's stuff leaking. We're like, I don't know what's going on, but we can't drive anymore. We're 100 miles away from Las Vegas. We got from New York all the way down to Louisiana, all the way across Texas to fucking Kingman, Arizona. Broke down. But there's another part of the story I left out.
Oh yeah.
So April has family in New Mexico. This is I can't believe I left this out. April has family in New Mexico, so she wanted to stop there on the way here to have breakfast with her aunt. So we go there, and I have my dog with me, So they have a backyard. They live in it's weird. It's called Las Vegas, New Mexico.
Yeah.
You've been there?
Yeah, I think
There's a Las Vegas.
There's a Las Vegas, New Mexico.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So we stopped there, and it's kind of very country like. She lives in like a trailer park type situation, but they're like nice trailers, kind of like. Yeah. People out there, they just live so much differently.
Hipster trailers.
Yeah, like hers was pink. Hers was pink and had like crazy colored tires around it and shit. Yeah, it was wild. And that's one thing about the cross country road trips that you realize is Americans, man, you can't generalize America.
Oh hell no!
There's so many different.
It's so unique all around.
And an American from New York City is a different American than an American from Kansas. We still love our country, and we're still, for the most part, I think we're pretty good people. Right. But our ways of life are completely different. So out there, they live in trailers and they have like these loose dogs, and it's mayhem. So I left. We go there for breakfast. And they see my dog and they're like, oh, he can go in the backyard because they have like a little gated fence. I'm like, okay, cool. We eat breakfast after about an hour or two. I'm like, let me go check on my dog. I go look in the backyard, and the metal gate fence is ripped open. Oh. And my dog's gone. And my heart fucking sunk, man. Like whoa. I was fucked up, man. I was angry. I was really, it was a mess. And I look and I see like on my truck there were scratch marks. So he must have like been looking for us. You know what I mean? Like he was smelling us. He was looking for us. He was probably scared of bugging out. And so now I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck my dog is. I'm in the middle of New Mexico, the country of New Mexico. And so I got in my truck. April hops in my truck, and we're driving around looking for my dog. I'm screaming for my dog, like, Opie. Like I start crying and shit because it's like my baby, Yeah. When shit, I've had him since he was 8 weeks old, and when shit in my life was up and down, that dog was always there for me. That dog was my, he was my stagnant. That was my comfort and like just a lot of shit to me. I love that dog in a crazy way. But now he's missing, and I'm in the little fucking New Mexico, and like there's fucking mountains around. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever gonna see this dog again.
Wait, how old Opie?
Opie at the time, right now he's 6, and I guess then he was 5.
Same age as mine.
Yeah. What kind of dog do you have?
The German Shepherd Husky.
Oh yeah, I cutie that one. So you know what it's like, man.
You shed hair everywhere, bro. I'm not a dog person because I'm allergic. But I know people.
Yeah, I know people deal with it. That's crazy.
I know people who have their dogs.
Love.
Yeah, people who have their dogs are super attached. Like I know Chuck loves his dog. Anytime I see somebody with a dog,
she sleeps with me.
That dog is like their life. You know what I mean?
The loyalty of a dog, man, is unparalleled. You know, they don't rat on you, they don't judge you, they just love you and they just appreciate you. You know, and they're there for you. They can read your emotions. They're great animals, and I love my dogs. I've always had dogs. This is my old dog right here, Buddy, that I had. So I lost my dog. And we're looking for him, and April decides, because there's wild dogs, like they just leave their dogs out and they can kind of run around. I guess they come back home. She's like, I'm gonna she gets out the truck and she starts running on foot looking for Opie, like screaming like Opie. I'm driving around. I'm driving for miles, like in these bumpy, crazy roads. Can't see him. One guy, when we were driving, I said to him, I was like, I'm missing my dog. Have you seen my dog? And he's like, nah, man, I haven't seen your dog. And he has a dog in the back of his hatchback. I'm driving on the main road, and he's like, hey, I think I saw your dog down there. And I was like, what? And it's fucking like a mile down. So I started gunning it, and I see a little brown dot. And I'm like, I fucking hope this is a motherfucker. So I get closer, and probably about 100 yards or so, and I'm like, that's my dog. That's my dog. But now I'm nervous because we're in the middle of nowhere, and he's probably having the time of his life, you know, running wild, getting chased by dogs. Probably, who knows, he might have some bastard dogs out in New Mexico, you know, because he's not fixed. But I pulled the truck over, and I'm like, if I have to run for 5 miles, I'm gonna fucking catch this goddamn dog. Luckily, I seen him. He saw me. He's already running towards me, and he's literally just ran into my arms, dude. I fucking put the bear grip on him, threw him in the back of the truck, and was like, I'm never ever letting something like that happen to that dog again. And he's in the back, just like,
So how old was he?
He was 5. He was 5
at that time.
At that time, he was 5 years old. Yeah, and he's strong, smart, wild dog, man.
Oh, that's the one thing I hate with dogs. Like sometimes they're fucking stupid, and I'm like, oh, I really wish it'd just be like, because I heard stories about my like grandma back in the day. She was telling me about her cat. Right. Like her cat literally followed her from like Boston all the way to Florida.
Followed her?
Followed.
How
I don't know. I asked my grandma, I'm like, you sure that's your cat? And she's like, trust me, I know, because the eye. It literally followed her. Like they had a trip, like a vacation in like Florida or something like that. And the cat literally was at the hotel room. Like it found him somehow.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, man. Animals, we don't know what goes through their head, but they know some shit, man. They know how to do things. And cats, I think cats are probably smarter than dogs are. Yeah. You know.
I don't like cats, but
I'm allergic to cats.
Yeah. Cats are a little more cynical though, right? They're like very they're kind of selfish.
They're on their own shit. You know? Yeah. But the thing about cats, like I still can't get an idea like why you like cats. Like, because if you get a cat, they kind of do their own thing. That's cool. You don't have to take care of them too much.
Maybe
but it's
like observing them. I don't know.
But like to me, I'm like, nah, I couldn't. Like, it needs the.
Yeah, it's not a partner in crime with you. It's not like you know. It's not. You can't really have fun with a cat, you know,
unless it's like a lion, because they have the same attitude as like a dog.
Yeah, and then you get eaten.
You want to get eaten. You want to get clawed in the face. Like, no, you're good. Okay, so you got the dog.
So get the dog back, and this is in New Mexico, and we're about, you know, at this point we're probably about 14 hours outside of Las Vegas, our final destination. And so then we're driving, breakdown in Arizona. Had to call up a truck tow. And the guy towed us for 100 miles when we were this close. It still pisses me off to this day. And money's tight. You know, like I'm spending a lot of money on this trip. Like I'm not, you know, there's a lot going into this. And so I get in this tow truck, and this guy was crazy, man. This guy was a nut job. He was very nice, very kind-hearted, but he seemed like he was methed out for like 3 days.
Damn.
Yeah, but he's cool, man. So
this is out in Arizona?
This is in Kingman, Arizona. Yeah. And I have a video of me and him and my dog. So he's in the front seat, my dog's in the front seat, me and my girl in the back, and my truck's behind us. And he's just like driving crazy. My dog's
Is he talking hella?
Yeah.
He's telling stories like, you know,
dude, he talked to us the whole time. You can see I'm a talkative person, but I was so exhausted from this trip. I was just like, I really wasn't engaging him, but it didn't stop him from talking. So finally, you know, we get to Las Vegas, and it was the whole burden, the weight of the world came off my shoulders, and I was like, finally, I'm fucking here. And we picked up business. Business was already ready to go because we did a pre-sale. People were like ordering, waiting for us to land. So we had clients from the get. Mm-hmm. And some of those clients we still have to this day. And I'll know those guys, man. Your day ones, bro. Like the day ones of your podcast and whatever ventures you do. Like you're always gonna remember them. You know, like they hold a very special place in your heart. Mm-hmm. And so from there, business started going good. And Yeah, it's never easy. You know, when the better things get, the more demands for you. You know, the bigger the workload, the more the work. So
more money, more problems.
Yeah, man, I say you gotta just use this podcast as like the backstory to the food company, man. Because I'm like, damn, that was like,
yeah, man.
Now I have an emotional attachment to that meal prep business. I'm like, damn.